My video for August the 3rd, 2018, which is video number 2806, is entitled The Step-by-Step Process of Taking Out the Cabal. As I've said so often, I get intel reports every day. They generally begin like this, quote, RV Intelligence Alert. Disclaimer. The following is an overview of the current situation based on rumors, leaks from several sources, which may or may not be truthful or accurate. We are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old Cabal and their system. In response, the Cabal is ramping up disinformation efforts to distort the truth. Cleanup operations of military-industrial complex remnants continue with success, end quote. I listened for over an hour to one such report that featured Q-Anon's enigmatic posts. Of course, Q-Anon is said to be someone in a high political position who is in the know regarding the happenings going on behind the scenes. They say it has to be done that way due to the sensitivity and complexity of the operation. I get that. If a new world is being birthed out of the old, it must take time. It simply cannot be an instantaneous process. It has taken many generations to get us into this mess, and we must be patient, allowing the process to unfold. I sincerely hope and pray that the outcome will produce the desired result, enrichment of people of goodwill, and a world finally at peace. Yes, I do get reports every day, 2 of them, Operation something and Intel. Operation Disclosure and Intel. They're the 2 reports I get every single day. And my friend, Mr. Ed, updates me and sends me separate messages highlighting some of the things that he tells me are important. And he is apparently one that is connected. He's not a talking horse. He's a real human being. And he is, I'm assuming, connected at some level where he gets information that I don't have immediate access to. I'm not privy to everything that goes on. And I don't know that anybody knows everything that goes on, except if there is an omniscient God, then that being, if such a being exists, knows. And I say if such a being exists because I've always believed in God. I mean, I believed I had a relationship with a loving creator. But the world is not a loving place. And that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. That's the enigma that I have to face. If I'm going to deal honestly, I have to acknowledge that the world is being run by psychopaths. I mean, I've said that how many times? I don't know how many, beyond the ability to even count them. I mean, in all of my videos, I've probably said that in a majority of them, because we have to face that fact that people that are in positions of political and economic power seem to be distorted in their concept of truth and their concept of what is right and wrong and what is good and bad. They have a completely different agenda, and it is, as I have said, a demonic agenda. And yes, I get impatient, especially when they took my home. That was something I never expected to happen, because I was set up so that I could continue my ministry and not have to worry about a lot of things. And if the RV were to become real, and we actually get into a currency that is honest and not fiat, if we actually get into the empowerment and enrichment of individuals who want to do right and are willing to tell the truth. But as the disclaimer says, not everything even that they say is necessarily truthful, because there is such a smoke screen being put in place by the Cabal that it makes the whole game very complex. And that complexity is to be expected if it's to be taken down without a miracle. And if a miracle were to happen, like God just sends Jesus back, or sends back to us something that just simply wipes out the Cabal without process, well, I guess that would be a process, but it's an instantaneous process, not one that takes time. Pregnancies take time. I mean, you can't bear a child right after the child is conceived. The child has to grow to a point that it can be birthed. And the changes that we seek on this planet apparently must take time to be birthed. And it took many, many millennia, perhaps, of preparation in the pregnancy state. And I don't get that, but that could be the reality. I'm not sure what is. I'm not sure what anything is, because, again, we've been living on a planet of lies for so long that knowing the truth is a serious challenge, a significant challenge. And I'd like to be part of the overcoming of that. I like to hug trees and walk in the park, but I'd like to be able to help uplift other people that are pushed down. I have friends that I haven't met in Africa, for example. And I tried to help one that was creating an orphanage, and then there's several others that come through and want help with their orphanage. There's a lot of orphans, apparently, in Africa. That's sad. And if the Zimbabwe election produces something that allows the Zim to have a significant value, then perhaps myself and many, many others that want to do good for humanity will be enriched enough to be able to do so. This is the dream. And it's a process, and I get impatient because I see myself getting older. I see problems that I'm not able to resolve and work through. And I'm not the only one. This is something that humanity is dealing with. And hopefully, folks, there will be some divine intervention at a level that can occur without upsetting the whole apple cart, as they say, without tearing everything apart and creating a lot of confusion. It has to be a process that unfolds, just like the birth of a child takes that process. And everything in the world takes a process. A tree, I hug trees. The tree that I hug is, this big around. I'm holding my hands maybe 14 inches or so apart, I'm guessing. And I hug that tree every day. But that tree didn't get there overnight. I see new trees that are growing up in the area, and they're pretty small. You can put your fingers around many of them, and even those are older, the ones that I put my fingers around, maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Anyway, folks, change takes time, and I'm trying to be patient. Thank you for listening. Namaste.